Into what is hard to take it?
You can do it if you want.
No, इधर
I will let's go.
इधर रख दे इस तरफ.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlad Ladayine. Hiranyakashipur Yata yata jami tata nishinha. Bodhi nishinha hridaye nishinha. Bodhi nishinha hridaye nishinha. Narasimha Mahadev Sharanam Prabhude. Tava kara kamala bare nama adbhuta shikha. Dalita hiranyakashipu Tanumeka Keshapatika Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Jaya Keshapatika Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev
Jaya Narsinga De, Jaya Narsinga De, Jaya Narsinga De, Jaya Narsinga De.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol जय श्री नृसिंहदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवर्जकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद
अब है चरणारविंद भक्तों महाराज जगत
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवर्जकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
नामाचार्य शीलादास ठाकुर की
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय
श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन धाम की
जय
वृंदावन धाम की
जय
नवद्वीप धाम की
जय
गंगा मैया की
जय
यमुना मैया की
जय
भक्ति देवी की
जय
तुलसी देवी की
जय
हरिनाम संकीर्तन
जय
समवेत भक्त वृंद की
जय
गौर प्रेमानंद
हरे हरि बोल
all glories to the
हरे
assembled
कृष्ण
all glories to the assembled
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to the assembled
हरे कृष्ण
all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga
हरे हरि बोल
We'll start one round of chanting. Congregation is chanting. Everybody please stand on their feet. Thank you. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivastava Prabhu Namaste Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Thank you. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much for attending this Saturday program. We see a lot of devotees who came back after a long time. So let's all welcome Makadia Prabhu, Desi Mataji and Prabhuji and kids. So let's welcome them by chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you Prabhuji. Thank you. Seeing after a long time. And today, as you all know, in the flyer, we have good fortune to have His Grace Ramcharan Prabhu and his wife Revati Mataji here. So Ramcharan Prabhu, if you don't mind, please take it in. I have to record.
Oh my God.
The recording is going on, so you can't.
No, the people are sitting there.
No, that's fine. That is Vyasa for us.
Okay.
So let's all welcome Ramcharan Prabhu and Revati Mataji by chanting 3 times loudly Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for honoring our request to come here on Saturday evening. So as you all know, most of you know, but some of you may not know about him. So I'd like to introduce, and also for those online, might be some devotees. So I would like to introduce him. His Grace Ramcharan Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj. Have you heard about this Maharaj? Very exalted. And he is a direct Srila Prabhupada disciple. Okay, so he has come to America several times before, long back, but mostly in India. And Ramcharan Prabhu has been practicing Krishna conscious for more than 2 decades. He is very sincere and a very senior Vaishnava serving ISKCON Philadelphia community. He dedicated himself And his family. Have you seen his family?
Enough to understand that
Grown-up kids.
this simply
How wonderful they are.
all violence becomes glorified and sacrifices directly by revelation.
So their whole family is dedicated in the service of this Harinam Sankirtan movement. He wore many hats while serving ISKCON Philadelphia, Sri Radha Sharat Bihari. He was one of the main persons who was in charge of book distribution and cooking along with his family, organizing festivals, Philadelphia Rath Yatra, one of the biggest events, and in many other areas.
Only
He
when
was one of the board of directors in ISKCON Philadelphia. And not to forget that he was one of the first persons, along with
of faith,
Srila
when
Prabhu,
place for a devotee and
in
finally get
2006, correct me if I'm wrong,
when really begins to study and
2006, right? Yes. They restarted Rath Yatra.
learn.
Now, the famous Rath Yatra is held in Philadelphia downtown. They restarted it.
Placed in devotional service and is
And he's a very eloquent speaker on Vedic wisdom. He gives lot of sessions at ISKCON Philadelphia also. He has been conducting online satsangs every day. Now I think they are in person, right, Prabhu? Is that in person or still online? Still online, okay. So that is good, but there is no break. Past almost 4 years, I think, before pandemic, right?
misgivings
Started at the time of pandemic. So since 4 years, there is no break.
fixed
Conducting
in one
online
status.
classes almost every day, and so we'll be very inspired by his association here today,
Love with
and he'll
Krishna,
take us into Srimad Bhagavatam.
love and
Anyone knows what verse is it?
to Krishna in the service.
1.2.11. Thank you, Amal Prabhu. So thank you, Prabhu, again. And those who are in Saturday school, they can please go. Not elders, only kids. Kidsida, make sure that no elder enters into your room. Okay, only kids. Others can.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I will be little loud, so make it low.
You can push forward.
Hare Krishna. Otherwise, till what time?
45 to 50 minutes.
7:30.
May the Lord who in the beginning of the place are amplified.
Then question answers.
May the Lord who in the beginning of the place amplified the present knowledge of Mahaprabhu in his heart.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome all for this Saturday session. So we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 2 and verse number 11. So everyone going to open the verse like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरये
ततो जयमुदीरये
शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण
शृण्वतां स्वकथां कृष्ण
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना
हृदयन्तोऽस्ति भद्राणि
हृदयन्तोऽस्ति भद्राणि
विधुनोति स्वसताम्
विधुनोति स्वस्वसां
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके
भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी.
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी.
So I'll recite this verse 3 times and then you can follow. Vadanti tat tatvidas
वदन्ति तत्तद्विदः
tattvam vijnanam advayam
तत्त्वं विज्ञानमद्वयम्
brahmeti paramatmeti
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति
bhagavan iti shabdyate.
भगवान् इति शब्दते.
Vadanti tat tatvidas
वदन्ति तत्तद्विदः
tattvam vijnanam advayam
तत्त्वं विज्ञानमद्वयम्
brahmeti paramatmeti
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति
bhagavan iti shabdyate.
भगवान् इति शब्दते.
Vadanti tat tatvidas
वदन्ति तत्तद्विदः
tattvam yajnanam advayam
तत्त्वं विज्ञानमद्वयम्
brahmeti paramatmeti
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति
bhagavan iti shabdyate.
भगवान् इति शब्दते.
Few of you want to say.
वदन्ति तत्त्वविदः
Vadanti tat tatvidas
तत्त्वं यज्ञानमद्वयम्
tattvam yajnanam advayam
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति
brahmeti paramatmeti
भगवान् इति शब्दते.
bhagavan iti shabdyate.
वदन्ति तत्तत्विदस्
Vadanti tat tatvidas
तत्त्वं यज्ञानम् अद्वयम्
tattvam yajnanam advayam
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति
brahmeti paramatmeti
भगवान् इति शब्दते
bhagavan iti shabdyate.
वदन्ति तत्तद्विदः
Vadanti tat tatvidas
तत्तं यज्ञानमद्वयम्
tattvam yajnanam advayam
ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति
brahmeti paramatmeti
भगवान् इति शब्दते
bhagavan iti shabdyate. Anyone else want to say? Okay. So then we'll read synonym translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय.
Vadanti,
वदन्ति
they say,
देशे
tat,
तत्
that,
that
tat vidaha,
तत्विदः
the learned souls,
the learned souls.
tattvam,
तत्त्वं
the absolute truth,
the absolute truth.
yet,
Yet
which,
which
jnanam,
ज्ञानं
knowledge,
knowledge
advayam,
अद्वयं
non-dual,
non-dual
brahma iti,
ब्रह्म इति
known as Brahman,
known as Brahman.
Paramatma iti,
परमात्मा इति
known as Paramatma,
known as परमात्मा.
Bhagavan iti,
भगवान् इति
known as Bhagavan,
known as भगवान्.
Shabdyate.
शब्दते.
It is so sounded.
It is so sounded.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. Purport. The absolute truth is both subject and object, and there is no qualitative difference there. Therefore, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are qualitatively one and the same. The same substance is realized as impersonal Brahman by the students of the Upanishads, as localized Paramatma by the Hiranyagarbhas or the yogis, and the Bhagavan by the devotees. In other words, Bhagavan or the personality of Godhead is the last word of the absolute truth. Paramatma is a partial representation of the personality of Godhead, and impersonal Brahman is a glowing effulgence of the personality of Godhead, as the sun rays are to the sun god. Less intelligent students of either of the above schools sometimes argue in favor of their own respective realization. But those who are perfect seers of the absolute truth know well that the above three features of one absolute truth are different perspective views seen from different angles of vision. As it is explained in the first shloka of the first chapter of Bhagavatam, the supreme truth is self-sufficient, cognizant, and free from the illusion of relativity. In the relative world, the knower is different from the known. But in the absolute truth, both the knower and the known are one and the same thing. In the relative world, the knower is the living spirit or superior energy, whereas the known is inert matter or inferior energy. Therefore, there is a duality of inferior and superior energy. Whereas in the absolute realm, both the knower and the known are of same superior energy. There are three kinds of energies of the supreme energetic. There is no difference between energy and energetic, but there is a difference of quality of energies. The absolute realm and the living entities are of same superior energy, but the material world is inferior energy. The living being in contact with the inferior energy is illusion, thinking he belongs to the inferior energy. Therefore, there is a sense of relativity in the material world. In the absolute, there is no such sense of difference between knower and the known, and therefore everything there is absolute. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरदस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमा ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्वशे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विष्णुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वदन्ति तत्तत्विदस्तत्त्वं ज्ञानवदनं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानिति शब्दते। So here, so this is series going on. Sukdev Goswami is answering the questions posed by all the sages in Naimisharayana. So they actually asked 6 questions. So here we see in this chapter the very first question, which was asked by the sages, that Suta Goswami answered that Savai Punsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Doshaji. So in that series he was explaining, and then now in the previous verse it's mentioned that a person should do all his endeavor to wise living in the material world is basically for Tattva Gyan. If you see the previous verse says that life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or a self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. So in the previous verse, Sutta Goswami says that the purpose of human life is to know absolute truth. So here, Tattva Jigyasa, if you know in the previous verse, that was last week, right? Discussed.
No.
So Tattva Jigyasa means like why we exist in the material world, what is the purpose of human form of life is Tattva Jigyasa. So that Tattva is mentioned in today's verse. So it like you know like when this world was created in the beginning, so first living entity was Lord Brahma, who appeared from the lotus coming out from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So when Lord Brahma appeared, he was the only person in the world. There was nobody there.
29, 7:29, 29 minutes, 59 minutes.
Then he was thinking, why I exist, isn't it? Suppose if you go to a no man's land somewhere and you don't see anyone in the world, anything, not even tree, plant, even a mosquito is not there. There was nothing there. No air. Like he can't see anything over there. So what I was thinking, who created me? The first thing is like, why I exist now? So that is a natural inquiry. That Lord Brahma, like he was thinking like, who created me? Why I exist? What is my purpose? So then he thought like, well, I'm sitting on this, suppose if I am the only person sitting on this chair, I will see like from where this chair comes, right? From where this table come, all those things. So he was sitting on a lotus and he saw that from where this lotus came. So he thought this lotus is actually going down. The stem of the lotus is going down because in the sky he could not see anything from where this lotus was coming. So he thought, let me go and travel from where the lotus is coming. That will be my origin. So he started traveling, and then he entered the stem, going down and down and down. For thousands of years he was traveling. So speed more than the speed of mind he was going, but he could not see anyone. Suppose if you are driving on a road where you don't see anyone, what happens? Huh?
Get scared.
Yeah. I know last year I was coming from Toronto, we were there for Rath Yatra, and I was in the night, like driving in the night, and my family, they were sleeping in the car, and I entered from upstate New York, and then I entered on the route 86, then I had to come to till Turnpike. There was a stretch of probably around 130 miles, no car was there, whole dark, and I was only driving. I thought, is there anybody exist in this world? That's so scary. Like I thought, and there's no rest area, nothing. You can't see even anything there. It's just all mountain, and just you keep driving like 100, and nobody's here and there. So it was so scary. How long is it going to finish? You know, you just keep going. At least we have GPS. Otherwise, there's no GPS. Is very difficult, right? So Brahmaji had no GPS at that time. He didn't know where I'm going or what is going to happen. And he was going some like infinity. If you think about infinity, or we completely become like surprised. What is going to happen? He was keep going, and then he could not find anything. And what he did? If you go somewhere and you don't find anything, what do you do? Take U-turn. Simple thing. See, now we have GPS. I don't know how many of you were there. When I came to this country, there was no GPS at that time. You know, we were taking maps from Yahoo, and then we were driving. And then I remember, like me and like one of my manager, we were going to Washington DC, and then he missed the exit, and he was going the road, and then he said, "We are 20 miles away." So then what we have to do? We have to take a U-turn on that and coming back again. So at that time, nobody tells you are going wrong direction, right? We just, when you're going, you have to really watch the boards and all, where you're going. But Brahmaji, there was no board, nothing. He just to take U-turn and then came back. Tired, and he sat down. What do I do now? So then he got inspired in his heart from the Lord that you should do tapasya, you should do austerity. And then with that austerity, Lord Brahma got inspired, and in his meditation, Krishna entered, and then he entered through his ears, and then entered into his heart, and then from the four mouth of Lord Brahma, four Vedas came. Right? So Vedas are the first words that we see in this scriptures in the material world. So in the scriptures it is said that for the all human being, the very first duty is athato brahm jigyasa. Athato brahm jigyasa. That's the first duty of all human being. Now this is basically today's verse. Athato brahm jigyasa. You must have seen that in our scriptures, like whether Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, you have seen that the top it says Atha Prathamo Adhyaya. Have you seen that? In Sanskrit it said Atha Dvitiyo Adhyaya. Atha. So Atha, what is the first word which came in this universe? Om Atha. These are very auspicious words. Atha. So Athato, Atha, Ata, Brahma Jigyas. There are two words. Athato. So means now means now and therefore. So same word. So now you should do Brahma Jigyasa. What does now means? Now means because after going through this so many species of life, you got a human body. In the human body, what do? Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa. Not Brahma Jigyasa. People confuse Brahm and Brahma. They read Brahm and Brahma. So there are two words. Brahmaji is a demigod who is living in Satya Loka, the topmost planet in this material universe. But Brahma is actually the Lord, Brahman. So today, this verse, what Sutta Goswami is saying there, that the absolute truth, or Param Satya, what we call, is actually mentioned in this verse. It says that Vadanti tat tatvidas tattvam is jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So this tatvidas means learned transcendentalist. You know the word transcendentalist, what it means? Generally, like these words are not properly used in other books. We see mostly in Srila Prabhupada's using like Supreme Personality of Godhead. You won't find this word in other books commonly. People several times when I speak, people say, Prabhuji, what does this mean? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because this word is not very common. You see, but in all, if you read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, you see word keep repeating every page. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Have you ever inquired like why Srila Prabhupada is stressing so much on that? You see, like, because you won't find these even other scriptures. Like other scripture means like written by other commentators. They don't use, but Srila Prabhupada used this very often, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? So there is that transcendentalist means the people who are trying to transcend this material world. Transcend means to go out from three modes of material nature. Anyone who is trying to go out from this material world, from this material world to spiritual world, they are called transcendentalists. So here, Srila Prabhupada says that in the translation, learn transcendentalists who know the absolute truth. Means विद्वान लोग जो परम सत्य को जानते हैं, people who know the absolute truth, they call this non-dual substance. Generally, it is very common that we accept, especially people we are from India, we accept that, oh, Hinduism have a lot of gods. We have so many gods, so much there, and everybody is worshipping different gods. Somebody is worshipping someone. You go in a region in India, like you go South India, like they are worshipping different gods. North India, somebody is worshipping something. You go to Bengal, they are worshipping more Kali Puja, and Gujarat, some other. So they think that there are so many gods are there. 33 crore demigods are there. They think that they are all like different gods. We generally it is claimed that there are so many gods are there, and that's why people say, well, if you talk about other religion, or Islam or Christianity or Judaism, they have one God. Why we have so many gods? Our kids get confused with that, isn't it? People ask this question, but here there is one God, non-dual substance. You can call different names, but even those there is a difference between demigod and the Krishna. But here he's saying the absolute truth. Param Satya is only one. There is no two Satya. The truth is always one. There is no truth, no two truth. The truth is always one, that absolute truth. And the who is the topmost truth. See, there is a one absolute truth, and then there are several other truths, but they are all dependent upon the main absolute truth. That's what Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says. Ishwara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. So the absolute truth is here. They are not really giving the name. Sutta Goswami is not giving the name, but Srila Prabhupada quoted that this absolute truth is defined in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the second aphorism of Brahma Sutra. Vedanta Sutra, the first is I say Athato Brahma Jigyasa, the second one is Janmadiyasya. So that the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is this Janmadiyasya Yato. This verse is actually a Gayatri Mantra. That verse is a Gayatri Mantra because it comes at the end with the Dhimahi. Wherever you see this word Dhimahi, that is Gayatri Mantra. So that actually first verse is glorifying that absolute truth with different kind of lakshanas, different kind of qualities. So that is only one. But people see differently. People see differently, and because here it says that they actually, this non-dual substance, they call in three phases, three aspects of the absolute truth: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Now, how to understand this? So best example Prabhupada gives the example of a sun. Everyone knows sun god. We see sun, right? So when the sun is there in the sky, right? So should we call that if sun rises tomorrow morning here and we say this is American sun, and then when the sun rises in India we say Indian sun? No. We know there is only one sun which is basically going to, which we are seeing. There's no different suns. There's just one sun, right? So similarly, God is one. And here, like if you see the sun god, there are three aspects of sun god, Prabhupada explains, that people see differently. Say for example, like if there is a sunlight coming, so if the sun is in the sky and the light is coming in our room, like in commonly we say that, oh, sun is here. Right? We say sun is here because the light is here. Right? So is that understanding wrong? No, it's not wrong, because they say, because the light is one of the features of the sun, that's why we say, even we call that light as sun, that's fine. Right? And then we see sun as a big disk in the sky. In the morning you can see the sun, but in the daytime you cannot see the sun with your naked eyes, isn't it? We have to wear glasses, right? The black glasses, because we really can't see sun because so bright. So when the sun is so bright, at that time we cannot see the sun, right? So it's very difficult to see how the sun look like and what is there in the sun. So if there are three people, you ask three people, like three different people, and if you send one person in a daytime and he sees the sun, and you ask like, go and define what is sun. So then if you send one person go out, which is in the mid of the day at 1 o'clock, he go outside and see sun, and then he comes, I can see it, but it's bright light only. Because you can't see. Because you can't see, you can define that as a light. Is that okay? Because that's not wrong, but that's not a complete also. If a second person goes, he goes in the morning or in the evening when the sun rising or sunset, then he says, oh, sun is a disk. This you can see that it's a round shape, it's a planet, it is a disk, right? And third person who can actually go to a sun planet and really see what is the happening on the sun planet, who is there, what activity is going on over there, like, so that person knows the sun also, right? So there are three people realizing three aspects of the sun, right? I will give you another example, then it's become more clear. You must have all traveled by train in India, right? Some people train you traveled in train, right? And normally nowadays it's okay, probably I don't know what is the status, but previously train used to be very late. No train used to run on time. Especially you go to a train station and they say, oh that train is 4 hours late, 5 hours late, sometimes even more than a day late. I remember when I was in India before coming to US, I was traveling all over India through trains, because my desire was that I want to visit India before I go to US. So my company allowed me to actually like install the software in 6-7 major cities. So I went to Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, Chennai, and Kolkata, and all these places. So I was traveling from Chennai to Kolkata through Coromandel Express, and that train was more than 12 hours late. So point is that everybody on the station, you see, like people when they see the train, they are keep waiting so eagerly. Like everybody goes to the line and want to see when the train is coming, when the train is coming, because there's no time. They were not saying okay it's 10 hours late or 12 hours late. They say it's late. Just nowadays system is more efficient. You can find through GPS how long train will take, those kind of stuff, right? So at that time it was very difficult to find it out. So
Nowadays flight is late too.
yes.
Flight.
So when you stand on when you go and stand on the platform, and suppose train is coming from far distance, and if somebody asks you what is it, if that person have never seen train in their life, suppose if a first person going and he's traveling first time in a train, and you see that train is coming from the far distance, then you ask that person how the train look like. Then he because generally train have a headlight. You know, see from the far distance the headlight is coming from the train. So when you go to platform, you will see the light is coming. So if you ask that person how the train look like, he will come, oh I saw the train, it's a light. It's a light. Right? So and he concluded very early. He don't even wait for train to come nearby. He concluded very early and he saw from very far distance. So he's seeing only the partial aspect of the train. So when the train comes really nearby, you can see the train's shape, like how this look like a square box. It's still not on the platform, still far distance, it look like a box, right? So second person, he actually see from a little far, not very near, he saw that train as like a box, right? And when the train really come on a platform, and if you see how many bogies are there, there's an engine, so many people on the train, like those kind of things. So that also person realize what train is. So in these three aspects, the person who is seeing the train from in and out, he has a complete realization. The person who is seeing little from far, like a box, he realized better than the previous person, but still he's not complete. The first person who is seeing just the light, he is also understand the aspect of the train, but only very partial. So these three aspects are mentioned in this, that Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, they are three aspects of the same absolute truth. But the Brahman is only the 1/3 realization of the absolute truth, like 33% you can say, just one aspect. The Paramatma aspect includes the Brahman plus the Paramatma. And what is Paramatma? Paramatma is the Lord incarnates. The Lord expands himself into the heart of all living entity. Paramatma is the form of the Lord. He expands himself to maintain this material world. This material world is maintained by Lord Vishnu, who is the expansion of Lord Krishna. And he maintains this material world, and Lord Vishnu is called Paramatma, like of this material universe. So in our heart, near where we are there, where in our heart, when I'm saying in this body, where we are residing in the heart, near to us there is a form of Lord Vishnu. That's called Paramatma. So whoever realizes this Paramatma, they are also realizing absolute truth, but it's still partial because they are realizing the Brahman and Paramatma. But a person who is a devotee, who knows that Krishna is a person, and he is there in his Golok Vrindavan, who is the abode beyond this material world. He is residing there. And then he comes here and takes incarnations, as Bhagavad Gita says that, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. Right? Krishna comes again and again to protect his devotees, right? And to annihilate the miscreants and to reestablish Dharma. So that Krishna is there in the spiritual world, and he incarnates, and his personal expansion is Paramatma, and the Brahman effulgence is nothing but his bodily effulgence. Krishna, like I'll give you example, in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked Krishna that show me the universal form. So what Krishna said?
The Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan.
No, what Krishna said, that you can't see my form with your naked eye, I will give you divine eyes. Krishna's form is so effulgent and so brilliant that you cannot see with your naked eyes. Right? So when Krishna says that I am going to show you my universal form, but I will give you divine eyes so that you can see my form. Right? So when Krishna showed the form, it was so brilliant. You see, you read Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, it says that as if thousands of sun appear together. You are so bright, so brilliant that the effulgence of the body of Krishna is. And that's the universal form. So Krishna's form is so effulgent that people who don't have devotional vision, like devotees have devotional vision through which we see Krishna. But people who don't have devotional vision, they see Krishna as just light. Because they really can't see the form of Krishna. Right? They say, oh, it's so bright, I can't see. They conclude that, oh, God is just basically like a light, right? So that's the light is also one of the aspect of the Lord. It is coming from in this material world, if there is no sun, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, na tad bhashyate shuryo na shashanko na pavaka yad gatva nivatante tad dhamam paramamma. In my abode, there is no need of sun, moon, fire, electricity. So now these four things are there in the air. Right now, if these lights are not there, which is we can say one of the form of sunlight, and if there is no sun, there is no moon, and there is no fire, no electricity, you can't see anything because it's completely dark. That's why this world is called Tama. Astoma Sadgamya, Tamsoma Jyotirgamya. Tamsoma means this material world is Tama. And Jyotir is what? The spiritual world. That is effulgent. In the spiritual world, there is no need of sun, moon, electricity, or fire because that world is self-effulgent. Everything is so bright, and that brightness is coming from the body of Krishna. You can't sleep there. So if there is no darkness, you can't sleep there. So sorry, in the spiritual world, you will not get rest. So then you say, why should I go there? I want to take a rest, I will get tired. But main fact is you will not get tired. Because what get tired is our physical body, not the soul, not the mind. Even mind not get tired. Mind is always active. Even in the night we keep dreaming. Our mind is still reeling, right? Our body is sleeping, our mind is still working. Similarly, our soul never sleeps. Right? So for soul there is no tiredness. Right? No concept of tiredness and all. So in the spiritual world you will not get tired. You don't need to drink tea and coffee to refresh yourself, energize. No need there. And like it's not that you give me some lemon juice or some orange juice so that I can get energy, or Glucon-D, Glucon-C in India. So a lot of people drink Bonvita, Boost, just get energized. Then no need there. Only thing you need is just service of Krishna. Everybody is so enthusiastic in serving Krishna there in the spiritual world. So there is like there is no need of sun, moon, electricity, or fire because the whole world is bright by the light coming from the body of Krishna. That's called Brahman effulgence. What do you see the word called Brahma Jyoti? Or that's normally we call Brahman. That's there. So that is there, and then Krishna is already there as a personal form. That's what Prabhupada always writes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the concept that not many people understand in this material world here. That's why Srila Prabhupada, even Pranam Mantra, we say that Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadeshtarane. The 90% of the world have no idea that God is a person. They think that God is something, energy. Some God is there, but God have no hand, no leg, no form, because they can't see. They can't perceive the God. That's why they claim that God is like there's nothing. Like you see, like many, like the whole Islam is based on that there's Allah, but they don't believe that Allah has a form. Right? Similarly, like even Christianity, some people believe that God has a form because human being is made of the image of the God. But some Christians don't. It's different. And even you see Buddhists, they are atheists. They don't even believe that there's a God. And many other people who are basically followers, they also don't believe that there's a God. Like even Jewish system is little similar to what Islam is. They are a little far different from Christianity. Christianity is a little bit near to what our system says that God has a form, right? So it's very difficult, like for people to perceive that God as a form because they are not that much elevated that they can see the God's form. Right? But Vedas very clearly say that God is a person, like you and me. So now you say like our form is like a material form, because this what the body that we have is like is a material form made up of earth, fire, air, ether, water. Bhumi, Rapa, Nulo, Vayu, Kammana, Buddhirevacha. Krishna says that this material energy, this body is made up of material energy. So is this form? No. Our form is material right now, but Krishna's form is spiritual, Satchidananda Vigraha. Even we have a form like Satchidananda Vigraha. That form will be revealed when we go to spiritual world. Right now we are basically, our form is manifested in this material form. So these three aspects, what Sutta Goswami is explaining is that we should inquire about the absolute truth. And these absolute truth have these three aspects. So people who are calling that God has no form, they are partial correct. They are partial correct, because they have only see that aspect of the God, where God is light, that aspect. But people who see God is a person, and God has these impersonal aspects, plus God has Paramatma expansion, he is the complete knower of the absolute truth. So that's the thing so that's why Prabhupada always explain that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, God is a person, and when you understand Krishna, you understand everything. When you understand Krishna, you understand all three very easily. But people who just expect Brahman concept, they will not understand Paramatma, they will not understand Bhagavan, right? Or the people who at least reach to the Paramatma platform also, they will not understand Bhagavan, they will only expect those two. But person who know Bhagavan aspect, the person who know Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, then they know everything, all three. So, but people call with three different names, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So ultimately they are calling the same absolute truth, but that is their vision. Like we see like a person who is in elementary class, elementary school, a person is in middle school, a person is in high school, or in a college, or a PhD, depend upon where you are, right? So, like if you person who is in high school, person who is in college, their understanding is way far better than the people who are in the elementary school, right? So similarly here, like we say, Brahman is just a 1/3 aspect of the Lord. Paramatma is the like 2/3 when you include Brahman, and then final is Bhagavan. Jiva Goswami give one more example to explain this. I almost like suppose when you're driving, like you're driving on turnpike. Suppose if you see from a far distance a mountain, like when you especially go from Harrisburg here, like see sometimes you're from far distance you see a mountain, right? So from far distance, how do you perceive a mountain? You see like it look like a cloud, some kind of a cloud. You don't even see proper form, right? You still look like something in the sky. We see okay, something is there like cloud shape, right? So that when you understand that mountain from that far distance, you won't see complete form of the mountain. You just see from the far distance some form, something is there, like a cloud. When you go nearby, you start seeing the form of a mountain, like okay, there is this shape. But when you really go into the mountain and you see there are trees, there are like animals and plants, so many things are there. So these three aspects are like that. So Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. When you see from a very far distance, you see Brahman aspect, right? And when you go a little nearby, you see Paramatma form also. But when you really go and know things completely 100%, that is Brahman, Bhagavan. And that's what like is Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna has mentioned that I am the supreme personality of God. Ishvara sar bhutanam hardeshe arjuna tishtati. And then later Krishna says sarva dharman partajya mamekam sharanam vraja. So when Krishna is asking that you surrender to me means like surrender me as a person. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that we should always remember the supreme form of Krishna. Because Krishna is the supreme personality of God, and we should remember that. By remembering Krishna, we remember all the incarnation also. Like because Krishna takes incarnation in the various incarnation like Rama, Narsinga, Varaha, Matsya, they are all incarnation of Krishna. So when we focus on Krishna, when we think about Krishna, everything is included. Brahman, Paramatma, all the incarnation of God, all the demigods also included, because they are nothing but the representative of the supreme personality of Godhead. They are the different managers and officers in this government, because this material world is governed by this government where we have like Lord Brahma is the head, then in Lord Indra and all this demigod, they are basically managing these affairs of this material world. And they are appointed by Krishna. They are appointed by Krishna. So they are all different limbs of the Lord. Because they are like what Indra is doing, what Surya is doing, what Chandra is doing, they are doing their particular function, but this world belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the maintainer, and Krishna is the like the father of all living entity. So they are all managed by different demigods, but they are nothing but a representative of Krishna. But they are not Krishna. Like many people think that all these demigods, they are different than Krishna. They are not different. They are connected to Krishna, but they are dependent upon Krishna. They are not independent also. So that's the main thing. So these three aspects are mentioned in this. And the reason is that we should, when we understand this, when we understand these three aspects, we know the absolute truth completely. Srila Prabhupada also mentioned the purport that in this material world, we have relative truth. Sometimes we see something is there, but that will change. It will not remain. Like right now you see something which is there, but after some amount of time it will change. It will not remain there. But absolute truth, which is always remains same in past, present, and future. The Lord is always there. Whether it was Satyuga, Trayuga, Dwapara, Kali Yuga, whether it's in the past, in the present, and the future, Lord will be always there. So that's why the absolute truth, Krishna, is called absolute truth, and He is always there, which the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatham explains. Okay, so now I'll ask the questions. Yes, anyone have any questions about today's discussion?
Questions or reflections? What? So that means everyone understood. Good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So nice class, Prabhu. So, like we're talking about the impersonal Brahman, right? So impersonal Brahman. Sometimes I found very difficult for the sometimes for the Muslim person to believe in Krishna, but I found some people, they're Muslim, but they still kind of understanding these things, that we are worshipping Krishna, and is a personal form of Krishna we are worshipping, and they're just worshipping the Nirakar Brahman. So some people, they understand, and day before yesterday, I was talking to a Muslim person, we are working together, and then we are after some time we are talking about God and everything. So I was explaining him by the sun, the example of the sun. Maybe some people are see the light and they believe that is God, and some people go deep into this and they understand, then they can see the personal from the Lord. So he was saying, yeah, kind of like that. Then he actually took a book from me, Bhagavad Gita, and I said, he actually he said, I don't believe in religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian. He said, I believe in everybody is human being, and everybody's in the heart there is Lord in everybody. So he was really understanding. So I said, yeah, you have so much knowledge, so you should read about Bhagavad Gita. Every knowledgeable person, they don't think religious. I'm not able to read the Bhagavad Gita because I am a Muslim person. Some people read. So I was explaining so many things to him. Then he took a Bhagavad Gita. I said, yeah, please read, and you can see the difference, and you can see the Lord, how he was telling everything to us. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Yeah.
Sure. No, yeah,
That was nice feelings, So sometimes you found Christian people, you can say to read them book, but whenever you go to personally me, whenever I try to ask to a Muslim person, it is really difficult sometimes to ask them to read Bhagavad Gita. So I was happy when I gave it to him, the book.
Yeah. No, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that people who follow the path of impersonalism, the progress is very difficult for embodied people. Like, see, we have a form, we have a body, right? And you say that God have no form. So what do you do? Means my Guru was always say that you have heard this word Alakh Niranjan. How many of you heard this word Alakh Niranjan? You might see this in, like, if you go in Kashi or like Rishikesh and all, people do Alakh Niranjan. Means Alakh means you can't really see, you can't really perceive, you can't really interact. So my Guru Maharaj says that like people who are lazy, their concept is Alakh Niranjan. Means when you say God is Alakh, when you say God is not personal, God is impersonal, God has no form, means you don't need to cook for them, you don't need to clean, dress them, you don't need to bathe them, you don't need to do anything. God is no form, nothing. God can talk, God can listen, God can do anything. So then what are you going to do? Means you are lazy, you don't want to do anything about God. So like, but if you ask them more and more detail, like what you do, then you will come to know that some or other, if they also know that God is a person, but they don't accept that. I tell you one interesting story that one time my Guru Maharaj told me this, like he was telling this story in a class that he was traveling, he used to go and preach in Africa, like in Kenya. There are a lot of community there. So he was preaching in Kenya, then he was coming back to India. While coming from Kenya to, he has a stopover in Gulf countries somewhere, which I don't know which country was there, but he has a stopover there. And he has like a stopover of 6 to 8 hours, something like that. And he was wearing full saffron. Now it's okay, but at that time, wearing full saffron and having like a chanting bead and all in a Muslim country, like it was really difficult. But my Guru Maharaj, he was just sat down, like he was waiting for his flight back to India. So he was sitting on the airport and he was chanting Hare Krishna, like that. So then one Muslim, like officer, he came, he has an office there, and from that office he saw that this monk, like they call monk, not sanya, they don't understand. So he's doing something. So he came to my Guru Maharaj and he's asking, are you Hindu? Because they don't know what is Hare Krishna at all. My Guru Maharaj said, yeah, I'm Hindu. Are you Imam? Imam? What is in Christian in Islam they call Imam is priest. Yes. My Guru said, oh yeah, I'm Imam. You can call me Imam. They don't understand something. Oh yeah, I'm Imam. You can think that, okay. So then he said, what are you doing this chanting? Because this attracts many people because something is there in your bead bag and moving and you really don't understand what is going on. Even though they also chant, but they have 36 rounds. They have a smaller mala. Like Muslims, they also chant, like they don't have bag. Like they just keep in their hand and then go like that. So they ask then my Guru said, yeah, I'm a devotee of Lord. I'm chanting God's name. So then he said like, I have heard that Hindu worship stones. Then my Guru said, no, we don't worship stone. If you worship stone, I will be worshipping this floor. This is also a stone. I can worship any stone. No, we don't worship stone. We worship God in the stone. He could not understand at that time. And then suddenly there was, generally, like in Gulf countries, on the airports, they have announcements. Ajaan kana, their announcement. So like the Ajaan's announcement came to offer the namaz. So they say like, okay, you wait, I'll come back. So he went there and he offered a namaz and then he came back. So my Guru thought, okay, let him come back. So when he came back, so then before he asked question, my Guru asked a question like, what you were doing there? And he said, I am offering namaz. So my Guru said, oh, you are offering namaz means you are offering prayer. Say, yeah, I am offering prayer. So then he asked him question, do you think that Allah listen your prayer? Then he was thinking, wow. Yeah, it should be. That's why I'm offering. Otherwise, why I offer up a prayer? They offer 5 times prayer. The strict Muslim, they offer 5 times prayer, isn't it? So 5 times namaz. So then he thought if I'd say no, then why I'm offering? Then he said, yeah, Allah listens, that's why I'm offering. So then my Guru asked, how Allah listen? Then he thought, how Allah listen? Yes, that's a big question. Then he said that he must be listening the way we listen. So then I say, how do you listen? He said, I listen through my ears. So then Allah is ears, right? He said, yeah, logically Allah is ears. So then my Guru next question asked, oh, does Allah have only ears, no mouth? Then he said, yeah, when somebody has ear, then that person should also have mouth, right? Otherwise, he can only hear, but he can't speak. So then he got confused. Yeah. Then he said, yeah, he must be have like mouth, like that's why he's speaking. Then he said, then my next question my Guru asked, like, that have ear, mouth, no hands, no legs? He said, no, he must be having that also. Then he got confused. Then, like suddenly what happened that I was, because they don't believe that God is a form, now he got caught, like what to do now? So then slowly then he came and then he started listening to my Guru Maharaj saying that he said that we do not worship stone just like any stone. We worship stone because in that stone we invite Lord and Lord comes and he takes our service because Lord is a person we cannot see through our material eyes, but he comes in the stone so that we can see them and we can interact with them. So slowly that person got convinced. And then my Guru Maharaj asked him the time, what is the time now? So then he said that, oh, you don't have watch? You are Imam and you don't have watch? I Guru said, why I need a watch? Then he said, hold on. Then he went to the one shop and he bought a $50 watch, he bought it and he gave it to my Guru Maharaj. He said like, okay, you take it and then when you come next time, please meet me. So that person got convinced that God is a form. So the point is that, see, for a person like us, worshipping something which is not there is very difficult. Suppose, like when you want to love someone, the person should be there. Suppose, like the husband and wife, there is a love between husband and wife, right? So suppose if one become impersonal, wife become impersonal, and husband cannot see, cannot talk, cannot do. So can you love someone who is not person? You can't love someone when there is no person. You can't really do any exchange with that, right? Tomorrow, like if your wife become completely impersonal, you can't talk, you can't see, you can't interact, and then who's going to cook? Who's going to feed? I don't need anybody who is impersonal, right? So the concept of God is just impersonal is lazy concept actually. You really don't want to serve the God, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Jivere Sarupore Krishna Nityananda. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. Our duty is to serve Krishna. So when we don't want to serve Krishna, we say Alak Niranjan. Aram se khao so jao. Alak Niranjan. God don't need anything. I need everything. You give me food, everything. I need everything. God doesn't need anything. That's Alak Niranjan. What is this? By nature we are servants. We have to serve. But because we don't want to serve, that's why we believe in this concept Alak Niranjan. Actually, God, as I say, God has the impersonal feature, but that's not real God. The God is person and we have to serve the God. That's why it's very difficult for people like all of us to really worship something who is non-personal. Very difficult. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, that people who are embodied, for them to make progress in that impersonal side is very difficult. So that's why personal aspect is very easy to go, and even though yes, it requires some service, but it will give you full realization. That's the point. All right. Any other questions, comments? Yes, Mate.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, very nice class. I have two reflections and one question. Honestly speaking, I didn't know that the way you explained Brahman and the next is Paramatma and then Bhagwan. Because a lot of times when we read the purport, without my knowledge, I thought they're all one and the same, like synonyms. But no, that's wrong. So I felt happy that good. Now it makes sense when I read again. And the other reflection is like how we explained, people get confused between Brahma and Brahman. So when my daughter was in high school, they had religion subject, and one day she read out and she said, it looks different from what we are listening in our Sunday school and all that. Why they're mainly mentioning the word Brahman, when they were telling about the Hindu religion. I said, Nitya, I really don't know. Because I said, I don't know, just go. If you don't write the right answer, then professor won't give you marks, right? So I just said that. So now it makes sense. But still, Brahman is it a Sanskrit word and Brahma is also Sanskrit word, then how normally in Sanskrit every word would have some, like why that word? So I'm still confused how that Brahman and Brahma is different. Though you explained like in
No,
the
the Brahma and Brahman. So the Brahma word is different than Brahman. So Brahman, when we are saying Brahman, we are actually denoting the Lord, Supreme Lord, Brahman. And when we are saying Brahma, he is the living entity or he is a demigod in the material world. There is a difference of end at the end. If you say Brahma and Brahman, that's the only difference.
so in Sanskrit also, if somebody has to write, they would say Brahman. They write in the like as a Hindi.
Yes, Brahman. Like if you write in Sanskrit, Brahman and Brahma, they are two different words. It's not the same. Like Brahma. This at the end. It's Brahman.
Brahman. Thank you, Professor.
Sure. But I'm not a Sanskrit scholar. But you can ask somebody who is more of a scholarly person in on the side of Sanskrit. But I would like to hear all of you because at some point of time you must have some concept of God, right? I personally say when before coming to ISKCON in India, I always think God, you see in India there are various demigods, like various temples are there. So we always have confusion, like who is supreme, who is the real God or not. But many people say that Parampita Paramatma. You must have heard this Parampita Paramatma or there is some God who is beyond this and all. So that inquisitiveness is always there in us. Right? So we always frame certain kind of thing that okay, God must be this, God must be that. But when you really read Srila Prabhupada's books, it's become very clear that who is the Supreme Personality of God. So you can share your experience, whatever you have gone through, because everyone must have gone through different. You must have met many sadhus, many babajis in India who saying something like that. but this concept you will not understand at other places very easily because Prabhupada made it very easily. You see, Prabhupada's books are so simple that a common man can really read and understand. Otherwise, you see other people's book, so confusing. You will not understand properly. It's not for common man to understand what they're writing. Okay, any other questions? Yes, you were saying, Prabhu, something?
Just a reflection, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely outside this our Krishna consciousness movement, it is very, very difficult to understand Krishna as a form, God has a form. So even though Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Madhvacharya Sampradaya, they believe, but most of the people, 90%, 95% of the people, even in India, they don't believe that God has a form. So we are doing some Sakara now, Sakara Saguna, and then God's eternal form is Nirakara Nirguna. They don't believe. And actually they are losing interest on the God. So Srila Prabhupada says, God, we are all right, we all look for variegatedness. That only comes through this personal form of Krishna, Bhagavan. When we worship this Bhagavan's form, then only we realize that we are the servants of the Krishna and we have that reciprocation with Krishna and we can exchange our rasa with Krishna. With the impersonal Brahman, we cannot do anything. It is just Nirakara, and as you said, Prabhuji, rightly, yes, people are lazy, so they want to just say Alak Niranjan. So God has no qualities and no form, and they don't want to serve. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very wonderful and nice class. Thank you so much.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to say, even in India, many people, they worship God, they have deities and all, but they still say that Saguna Brahm is coming from Nirguna Brahm. I'm telling you, you see many people, especially people who follow Ramcharitmanas. I'm telling you, many people who follow that, because there it says that Nirakar Brahm become Sakar. They call like this. But actually it is wrong. It is not that Nirakar Brahm is becoming Sakar. The Lord is already Sakar. Lord is already having a form. Nirakar is one aspect of the Lord. That's a very, very difficult for people to understand. I deal with many people who still say, oh, Nirgun Brahm, Nirakar Brahm is becoming Sakar. everything is coming from Nirgun, and ultimately you have to go back to Nirgun. The people say that, but actually that's wrong, because they ultimately, their conception is that they want to merge into Brahman Jyoti, which is a Sayuja liberation, which is, Prabhupada say that is not actually a real liberation, because from there you can fall down at any point of time. It's not complete there. Right? Even if you go to that platform, because people who are worshipping of Nirakar Brahm, they want to merge into the Brahman effulgence. Like suppose you see in here people who commit suicide, what they do? They want to give up their physical body so that they can get rid of the problems or miseries of life. But what happens when they kill their body? They become ghost. They become ghost because they untimely give up their physical body when the time is not there. Or people who are Akal Mrityu. You might have heard this Akal Mrityu. You know? Akal Mrityu, or people who go killed untimely, or people who kill themselves. So because their time is not there for the next body. When if you go to a like airport, like if you are transiting from one, as Mata is saying, like if you're transiting from one place to another place, and you are on a transit airport, if next plane is not ready, you have to wait there, right? Isn't it? Like suppose if you're landing at 10 o'clock and your next flight is 4 o'clock, so you have to wait for 6 hours. Similarly, like when you give up this body, there should be next body ready for you. If the next body is not ready, then you have to hang around there somewhere, and that hang around, this is like ghost bodies, like you hang around without any physical body. So you are hanging around there, and then you are not, and the ghosts are the most like unsatisfied people, because they need, in order to satisfy your desire, you need a physical body. You need some kind of body where you can satisfy your desire. That's why ghosts want to enter everybody's body. आपने देखा ना? In India, say, oh, your ghost will enter into your body. They are haunting the house. They are haunting the people because they want to take the things. Similarly, when you give up this material body, and then you go to the Brahman effulgence, you don't get spiritual body. You are hanging there like in the sky, and then you can fall down any point of time from there, because you really cannot satisfy your desire. You cannot be happy at that situation. You are Brahman, Brahma Bhuta, that's fine, but that's not the ultimate realization. Ultimate happiness is when you really serve Krishna. When you really serve Krishna. And this Brahman effulgence, Krishna very clearly says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmani Pratistham is all dependent upon me. It's not that Krishna is coming from Brahman, it's actually Brahman is coming from Krishna. That's the point we need to understand. Alright? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Yeah, Prabhu, like Srila Prabhupada already explained very nicely, you are right. But this concept is very difficult because of the people, even me also, sometimes confusing. That's why, I see like you are already give the example for the train. Someone give the Prabhupada also explaining this, the sun digs, and also the sunlight. Someone explaining the mountain. Also someone explaining about the gulab jamun. There is lots of explanation, very nice. But thing is the three aspects really, this is really all of the aspects, God has everything. But this about the inquiry. The inquiry is our inquiry is not fulfilled for what is the really God thinks is. Like if I just I'm just satisfied inquiry for the only Brahman influences. This is my whatever you say the laziness. It means we are not going to the deeper and deeper things. The same thing, people are not really trying to understand this really what is the God form. If it is really understand this Prabhupada also said this really main concept. If you understand these three things, you understand all of the things. That's why just from my reflection, this really nice explanation. Thank you very much for Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The main important thing is that these three aspects, like understanding, is why Prabhupada stresses on that is because we can see what other people think. For us, Srila Prabhupada has given Bhagavan aspect. Very easily. Srila Prabhupada has given us the deities. You worship the deities. You can chant Hare Krishna, and we are okay. We don't need to go there. But Srila Prabhupada want to teach us that. Srila Prabhupada give the whole information, like what is Paramatma, what is Bhagavan, and Srila Prabhupada have wrote so much about Mayavad, and also sometimes we get confused why there is so much of things Prabhupada mentioned, because you see this world is infected by that consciousness. Like people thinking that we are the God is impersonal and we are worshipping that and all those kind of things. So in order to remove that understanding, especially this Mayavadi philosophy, Prabhupada actually preached so strongly about this personalist theory. So because this is very, very important, otherwise hardly anyone, like before Srila Prabhupada came to United States, hardly anyone know about Krishna. Right? Right? Now people know about Ram also. Previously people don't know about Ram also. Now, but now see, Krishna is already, I was hearing one news that now Lord Ram's name is also going all over the world. Previously Krishna name was there. Because they were referring, Srila Prabhupada actually gave Krishna to everyone. The Krishna name is almost in all continents. People know who Krishna is. Like at least they have seen one or few times Hare Krishna devotee somewhere. Right? If you have been to any major city, you must have seen Hare Krishna devotee doing Harinam Sankirtan. You must have seen Hare Krishna. At least people recognize us. Oh, Hare Krishna people. So now other things are going. So Srila Prabhupada actually mentioned all of us that we should become more and more sincere in giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, because our knowledge is based on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So what we are preaching, what message we are giving, is basically what Srila Prabhupada actually mentioned is given in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Previously, no one actually preached that message. Before Srila Prabhupada, hardly anyone preached this real message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So this is the real substance that we are doing. So thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. There are some online devotees. I'll ask
Sure.
them before we end. Hare Krishna, online devotees. Do you have any questions? Please unmute yourself. Anything to share?
Unlimited buffet खाने के लिए जाते हैं.
Sorry, that was not a question. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful. So big round of applause to Grace Ramcharan Prabhu. Wonderful session. Thank you. So now we'll have sloka recitation from kids. Kids, please. Please come forward. Haribol. So while that is getting organized, I would like to again thank those who have come back after a long time, all the devotees. Shalini Mataji also after a long time I'm seeing you. Probably I forgot your name. Srinivas. And her name? Lalita. Okay, so let's all welcome Srinivas and his daughter Lalita by chanting 3 times Haribol. 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 Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Kids, ready?
Visabini Vartante Navahasa Satehinam Vasaversam Pyo Asya Kam Dusana Vitate. The embodiment may be was shifted from sense enjoyment to the taste of sense objects we made, but ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher level of taste, he is fixing consciousness. Shayavini Vartante Nirhadayasya Rehina Rasogarjam Rasopyasya Param Deswani Vartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects still remains. Though ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Haribol.
Shayavini Vartante Nirahadasya Dehinaha Rasavarja Rasopayasya Parama Trishani Vartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for the sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing higher tastes, this is a fixed mind in Krishna, in consciousness.
Param Dishta Nivartate.
Haribol!
Their body and soul may be restricted of sense enjoyment, but the taste of sense objects still remains. By ceasing the engagements, by ceasing such engagements and experiencing higher taste, one can be fixed in consciousness.
Close it.
Though the embodied soul is restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. But seizing such engagements by experiencing higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Haribol!
The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense object remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness.
Urja. Dr. Urja, please. Oh.
Citrastuas, două citri curățite să mă taieți. Mama ca panava, șeva kipurat samjaya. Natve vaham chaturasam, natva nirvijanalipa, na chaiva na bhavishyanama, sarve vayamutam param.
Haribol! Ahitan.
Dharma kshetre, guru kshetre, samaveta yuyut samaha, mama ka pandavas chaiva, kimha kurvata sanjaya.
Haribol! It's a big round to wonderful kids. Thank you. Thank you again. And today, one of my neighbors, they gave direct remnants from Ayodhya. Okay. So recently there was inauguration, right? Ceremony. So Akshata Kal, you know this rice. So it is here. Please don't forget to take it. Okay. So that's for all of us. So thank you. So prasadam now. Mahaprasade Govinde. Nama Brahmane Vaishnave. Salpa Punyavatam Rajan. Vishwaso Naiva Jayate. Sharira Vidyaja. Janendriya Taheka. Jiva Fele Vishesagare. Varamati Jivati. Vabhomai Sudurmati. Taki Jatakatina Samsare. Krishna Parodayamai. Koribara Jivajay. Saprasada Nadilo Bai. Sri Annamruta Pavo. Sri Radha Krishna Gunagavo. Premana Kosti Chaitanya Nitai. Jai Nimai Jai Nitai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Krishna Mahaprasadam ki Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we all request Ramcharan Prabhu to come back again soon. Thank you. Hari Bol.